Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Welcome home. Safe house down in the old city. The Highborns never venture to the seafloor. We're here.
Tales about the lost city of Atlantis are as ancient as any story. A once great metropolis suddenly lost to the briny depths of the ocean as if it never existed at all. But did it exist? Is there any actual evidence that Atlantis was real? And if so, where was it? And what terrible event destroyed it? Let's find out in today's episode of...
An algae bloom in Texas waters. Red tide bloom is popping up around the Gulf and Galveston Bay. About a so-called dead zone.
Dead zone is basically kind of the lack of oxygen.
Texas, known for its sprawling beaches, rich oil fields, and Gulf Coast charm, may be hiding something far more unsettling beneath its waters. While tourists and fishermen enjoy the coastline year-round, few realize that deep below the waves, something extraordinary and potentially catastrophic is unfolding. In recent months, scientists have uncovered shocking new evidence of geological instability, strange ocean floor phenomena, and mysterious forces that could impact the entire region. In this video, we're diving into 10 incredible discoveries made beneath the Texas coast, findings that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the Gulf of Mexico, and hint at risks we're only beginning to understand. So smash that like button, subscribe for more jaw-dropping Earth mysteries, and let's head straight into the deep. Massive seafloor cracks emerging near Corpus Christi. Could the Texas coast be tearing itself apart? In late 2024, seismic surveys conducted near Corpus Christi revealed sprawling fractures along the Gulf seabed, some stretching for miles. These aren't minor faults. They are gaping fissures widening over time, indicating a buildup of tectonic tension beneath the seafloor. High-resolution sonar scans have shown that many of these fractures are interconnected, forming a complex web of instability that spans several dozen square miles. Even more concerning, these cracks are located perilously close to major offshore oil infrastructure, including pipelines, drilling platforms, and storage facilities that are critical to both the regional and national energy supply. A sudden shift or collapse could sever these vital arteries, triggering environmental disasters and economic shockwaves. Scientists are particularly worried about the composition of the underlying sediment, a mixture of soft clays and unstable silt, which appears to amplify the movement. The sediment layers have been observed gradually slumping into the fissures, which not only widens the cracks, but could lead to a sudden, domino-like collapse effect. In some areas, the seabed has already dropped by several feet in just a matter of months. Sonar imaging and remote-operated vehicles have captured eerie footage of sediment plumes rising from the cracks, evidence of slow but continuous movement deep beneath the waves. Researchers warn that these fractures may eventually connect with deeper fault systems running parallel to the Texas coastline, setting the stage for larger, more catastrophic seafloor deformations. Adding to the alarm, recent microseismic readings have detected unusual tremors along the fault lines, small quakes that are typically a prelude to bigger movements. Emergency planning teams are now working with offshore operators to install pressure sensors and early warning systems in a race against time. With vital infrastructure and millions of coastal residents potentially in the path of disaster, the cracks beneath Corpus Christi are more than just geological curiosities. They are a ticking time bomb that demands urgent attention. Mysterious methane seeps discovered along the Gulf Shelf. While mapping the continental shelf, researchers found hundreds of methane vents bubbling up from the seabed, painting a startling picture of instability hidden beneath the Gulf waters. These seeps are heavily concentrated near known fault lines, hinting at much deeper geological disruptions below. Detailed sonar scans have revealed that some vents form dense clusters, while others align in long, meandering fractures across the ocean floor. Scientists believe that the destabilization of these areas is tied to warming ocean temperatures and shifting pressure gradients, which are causing frozen methane deposits, known as hydrates, trapped under the sediment to thaw and release gas at an accelerating rate. Methane hydrates are often referred to as the ice that burns due to their volatile properties when disturbed. In stable conditions, they remain locked in frozen lattices deep below the seabed. However, as ocean currents warm and seafloor pressures fluctuate, these hydrates can suddenly collapse, releasing large quantities of methane gas. This release not only poses the risk of explosive underwater gas events, which could trigger underwater landslides, but also significantly contributes to the greenhouse effect. Methane is over 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide over short timescales, making its unchecked release a serious climate concern. Remote-operated vehicles, ROVs, have captured dramatic footage of towering methane plumes stretching hundreds of feet upward from the seabed, creating shimmering columns visible even from surface vessels. Some plumes have been measured at volumes large enough to potentially affect regional water chemistry and deplete oxygen levels, compounding the threat to marine life. Aside from the risk of explosive underwater gas releases, the ongoing seepage could accelerate regional climate change, acidify ocean waters, and disrupt critical ecosystems. The Texas coast's fishing industries, coral reefs, and shoreline protections all hang in a delicate balance, one that the Gulf's rising methane emissions may soon tip dangerously out of alignment. Ancient submerged structures found near Galveston. Could Texas have its own underwater Atlantis? During a 2025 deep-sea scan near Galveston, researchers detected symmetrical stone alignments resembling walls, causeways, and platforms buried under layers of sediment. These formations, arranged in grids and interconnected pathways, exhibit a level of engineering that suggests intentional human design rather than random geological processes. Sonar imaging has revealed what appear to be rectilinear layouts, patterns rarely produced by nature, leading scientists to hypothesize the existence of a prehistoric settlement. Preliminary dating from sediment samples around the site indicates that these structures could be more than 10,000 years old, from a time when sea levels were significantly lower, exposing vast coastal plains that are now submerged. Archaeologists speculate that ancient peoples may have built entire communities along these shores before they were overtaken by the encroaching Gulf of Mexico. Adding to the mystery, divers have recovered carved stone tools and pottery shards embedded within the coral-covered ruins, providing tantalizing hints of a once thriving civilization. Some of the tools show advanced craftsmanship that challenges current timelines of technological development in the Americas. Several researchers have drawn comparisons to similar underwater finds in other parts of the world, such as Japan's Yonaguni Monument and structures off the coast of India, fueling debates about the possibility of advanced, lost civilizations predating known history. Remote sensing teams are now employing magnetometers and sub-bottom profilers to map what lies beneath the sediment layers, hoping to uncover buried chambers, roadways, or ritual spaces. If confirmed, the Galveston structures could dramatically reshape our understanding of early human migration and settlement patterns across the North American continent. What secrets are hidden beneath Texas's waves? With every dive and sonar sweep, it becomes clearer. We are just beginning to uncover the deep and ancient past locked beneath the Gulf. Sinkhole formation accelerates near Houston's offshore waters. Satellite imaging combined with oceanographic sonar recently revealed that parts of the seafloor near Houston are subsiding, sinking slowly but steadily. The phenomenon was first noted when anomalies appeared in satellite altimetry data, showing subtle depressions in previously stable regions of the seafloor. Follow-up sonar mapping confirmed the presence of large, bowl-shaped indentations forming at alarming rates. Scientists believe these collapses are linked to the dissolution of ancient salt domes, massive underground structures made of evaporate deposits dating back millions of years. Under the immense weight of overlying sediments and with shifting groundwater flows, these salt domes can gradually dissolve or abruptly collapse, creating vast sinkholes that weaken the surrounding geology. Recent core sampling in the area revealed brine-saturated sediments and disturbed layering, classic indicators of active salt movement beneath the seabed. The dissolved salt creates voids that destabilize the overlying rock and sediment layers, leading to sudden collapses without warning. Some of the newly discovered sinkholes measure over 100 meters across and are still expanding. Such sudden movements could destabilize critical offshore infrastructure, including oil rigs, underwater communication cables, and drilling platforms. Moreover, a significant collapse could displace large volumes of water, potentially contributing to tsunami-like waves that would impact the densely populated coastal communities of Texas. Marine geologists are now deploying an array of seafloor pressure sensors, 3D seismic imaging, and autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, to monitor the evolving situation in real time. The stakes are high. Beyond economic losses, a catastrophic sinkhole event could threaten human lives, disrupt energy supplies, and devastate fragile marine ecosystems that depend on stable seafloor conditions. As the Gulf continues to shift beneath Houston's offshore waters, scientists are racing against time to better understand the risks and to develop mitigation strategies before nature makes its next move. Unexplained, low-frequency rumbles beneath the Gulf. Seismologists have detected a constant low-frequency vibration emanating from deep below the Texas coastline, an eerie signal that has captured the attention of geologists and oceanographers alike. Nicknamed the Gulf Hum, this persistent rumble resonates at frequencies just below the threshold of human hearing and has been picked up by sensitive ocean bottom seismometers for over a year. What's baffling is that this phenomenon does not correlate with known sources of noise, such as ship traffic, undersea drilling, or natural earthquake activity. Some researchers hypothesize that the Gulf Hum could be linked to deep-seated fluid migrations, pressurized water or gas slowly moving through porous layers of rock far beneath the seafloor. These migrations could destabilize geological structures, lubricate fault lines, and trigger sudden slippages that manifest as low-frequency vibrations. Others suggest that the rumble may be an early warning sign of large-scale fault slippage in the making, a prelude to significant seismic events. Similar low-frequency phenomena have been recorded before major undersea earthquakes in other parts of the world, adding urgency to the investigation. Adding another layer of mystery, the hum appears to be intensifying and subtly migrating over time, slowly drifting northward along the continental slope. Advanced acoustic arrays and deep-sea hydrophones have been deployed to map its movement and characterize its source more precisely. Meanwhile, theoretical models are being developed to simulate possible causes, including methane gas releases, sediment collapses, and subsurface magma movements. However, none have yet matched the observed data perfectly. For now, it's a mystery, a growing anomaly that scientists are monitoring closely. If the Gulf hum is indeed a harbinger of geological unrest, it could have serious implications, not just for Texas, but for the entire Gulf Coast region. Dead zones, expanding at an alarming rate. The Texas Gulf Coast has long struggled with seasonal hypoxic zones, areas where oxygen levels plunge so low that marine life suffocates. These dead zones historically formed during the hotter months when nutrient runoff from agriculture fueled massive algae blooms that later decomposed and sucked oxygen from the water. But in 2025, researchers observed something alarming. The dead zones are getting bigger, lasting longer, and migrating closer to shore. Data collected from autonomous underwater gliders and satellite imagery revealed that oxygen-depleted waters were expanding faster than at any point on record, some stretching over 10,000 square kilometers. What's causing this dramatic escalation? A lethal combination of climate change, fertilizer runoff, and shifting ocean currents is to blame. Warmer ocean temperatures accelerate algae growth and decomposition processes, while stronger and more erratic currents are transporting these low oxygen pockets to new, previously unaffected areas. The impacts are devastating. Massive fish kills have been reported off the Texas coast, with thousands of dead fish, crabs, and shrimp washing ashore. Oyster beds, vital for both ecology and economy, are being smothered, and popular fishing zones are becoming barren wastelands. Economists warn that if left unchecked, these expanding dead zones could devastate Texas's multi-billion-dollar fishing and tourism industries. The Gulf Coast's vibrant seafood markets, recreational fisheries, and beach economies are all at risk. Marine biologists are urgently deploying new mitigation strategies, such as promoting buffer zones along rivers to reduce agricultural runoff and experimenting with oxygenation technologies in key fisheries. However, reversing this trend will require large-scale action, including addressing climate change drivers and reforming agricultural practices across the Mississippi River watershed. The dead zones serve as a sobering reminder. The Gulf of Mexico's delicate balance is under siege, and the clock to preserve it is ticking faster than ever. Buried brine rivers unearthed beneath the coastline. Using deep penetrating radar, scientists have discovered massive underground rivers of brine, super salty water, flowing beneath the Gulf seabed. These subterranean flows, some stretching for dozens of miles, are remnants of ancient seas that evaporated millions of years ago, leaving behind thick salt deposits. Over time, groundwater seeped into these deposits, dissolving the salt and creating vast hidden networks of briny rivers under high pressure. These brine flows can corrode surrounding rock formations, undermining the stability of the seafloor. As the brine eats away at sedimentary layers, it leaves behind hollow pockets, weakening the foundation of the Gulf seabed. This erosion process can trigger collapses that ripple up to the surface, potentially forming sinkholes, fault shifts, and underwater landslides. Recent studies have shown that some of these brine rivers are moving, slowly but relentlessly, altering the subsurface landscape. The pressure and chemical activity of the brine accelerate the breakdown of surrounding rock, making the region more vulnerable to sudden geological failures. Some researchers now worry that human drilling activities, especially for oil and gas, may accidentally intersect with these hidden rivers. If a drill punctures a high-pressure brine pocket, it could unleash sudden bursts of corrosive fluid, destabilizing the borehole and triggering dangerous subsurface shifts. In extreme cases, it could even lead to blowouts or collapse events affecting surface installations. To mitigate the risks, scientists are calling for enhanced subsurface mapping using 3D seismic surveys and electromagnetic imaging before any new drilling operations are approved. Understanding the movement and distribution of these brine rivers is critical not only for protecting offshore infrastructure, but also for preserving the fragile geological balance of the Texas coastline. As exploration and industrial activities continue offshore, the unseen rivers beneath the Gulf remind us that the most powerful forces often lie hidden beneath our feet. Mysterious, bioluminescent zones. Spotted offshore fishermen and researchers alike have reported strange glowing patches on the surface of the Gulf waters, especially near submerged fault lines. These bioluminescent zones, sometimes stretching for miles, have turned night fishing trips into surreal spectacles, with luminous streaks swirling around boats and casting eerie glows across the waves. These phenomena are caused by huge blooms of deep-sea microbes, many of them extremophiles that thrive on methane and sulfur released from the seafloor. Species such as Vibrio harvei and other sulfur-loving bacteria light up in response to chemical changes in their environment, creating fields of blue, green, and even red light that pulse with the ocean's currents. What has scientists particularly concerned is the suddenness and concentration of these blooms. In many cases, their appearance coincides with areas known for recent methane seepage or microseismic activity, hinting at larger, unseen geological changes taking place beneath the Gulf floor. Some researchers believe these glowing patches could be an early warning system, flagging regions where gas seeps, fault shifts, or sediment collapses are becoming more active. Underwater drones, equipped with hyperspectral cameras, have captured stunning footage of microbial mats carpeting the seabed, glowing softly as they metabolize seeping hydrocarbons. In several locations, these mats have grown to the size of small city blocks, indicating sustained and possibly escalating methane emissions. Marine biologists are studying the microbial DNA and biochemistry to better understand their adaptations.
And whether their sudden proliferation could signal deeper shifts in ocean chemistry.
Some fear that if methane releases accelerate, it could not only destabilize the seabed, but also intensify climate impacts, creating feedback loops that are difficult to reverse. Their sudden appearance may indeed serve as a vivid natural warning sign, one that we ignore at our peril. The glowing waters of the Gulf could be the ocean's way of flashing a bright, urgent signal. Something big is brewing below. Shifting continental shelf raises tsunami fears. New geophysical models predict that if a major shelf collapse occurs along Texas's unstable continental slope, it could send powerful waves crashing into coastal towns like Galveston, Corpus Christi, and even Houston. Although rare, underwater landslides in other parts of the world have triggered devastating tsunamis, and with sediment buildup and methane destabilization in play, the risk is no longer considered negligible. Signs of ancient superstorms buried in Gulf sediments. Finally, core samples pulled from deep beneath the Gulf floor have revealed evidence of monstrous ancient hurricanes, storms so large they reshaped entire coastal landscapes. These megastorms, likely fueled by warmer prehistoric oceans, dwarf anything in the modern record. Given rising global temperatures and intensifying hurricane seasons, scientists warn that the Gulf region, including Texas, may not be immune to a future of supercharged storms. So, what do you think about these 10 chilling discoveries off the Texas coast? Let us know in the comments. Which revelation shocked you the most? Was it the ancient ruins, the methane seeps, or the possibility of a massive shelf collapse? And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want more deep dives into Earth's hidden mysteries. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
We've got breaking news. We are witnessing history. A moment the ramifications of which simply cannot be overstated.
오늘 역사를 보고 있습니다.
A first contact with the undersea nation of Atlantis. An entire civilization hidden for thousands of years about to be revealed.
I think it's safe to say the world will never be the same.
The King of Atlantis has reached out to the United Nations and will be officially seeking membership.
And is expected to propose a joint effort to reverse the climate issue.
We're told that this was the result of weeks of secret negotiations with the United Nations.
We now go live to Ellis Island, where the first official ambassador from Atlantis is about to address the United Nations.
I come here today as a representative of two worlds, the land and the sea. And I stand here as proof change is coming to both. And I'm calling for global unity for a global crisis, to finally bring harmony between us and the natural balance of our world. Atlantis stands ready to help contribute its science and technology. And with your knowledge of the air and our knowledge of the seas, together we can write the next chapter in our story, rather than its ending. Sometimes it's going to seem like our differences are too extreme, but all we have to do is look beneath the surface to see that we're all here on this planet with the same goals and aspirations. Even when our customs might seem strange and unfamiliar.
Cheeseburger, extra greasy like you asked for.
And by overcoming our prejudices, we'll become stronger and learn more about ourselves. We can seize this moment to create a better, more hopeful future for our children and our families. My name is Arthur Curry. I'm the rightful sovereign of the undersea nation of Atlantis. I'm a father, a brother, a warrior, and a friend. I'm the King of Atlantis. I am Aquaman.